Once more, wine and dine is a pleasure of life. Food and its production and preparation we know. How much do we know about wine, however, and its production and other features related to it? Here is a golden opportunity for you to familiarize yourself with a winery. Let's carry that thought into our upcoming segment called Chit Chat with Manoj. The conductor of this much-liked segment is Mr. Manoj Singh, who is the CEO of Caesar Productions. This week, Mr. Singh has invited Miss Prema Patil Sharma from the Narmada Winery to be a guest on his show. Let's meet her up close and personal.
Welcome to Chit Chat with Manoj. I'm Manoj Singh. Hello, Adab, Namaste. Today we are going to talk about, you all know in our area there's a very famous winery, Narmada Winery, started by a South Asian, and it's beautiful. And we'll talk and know more about that winery, and to talk about that, in our studio today is Prema Patil Sharma. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And she's the daughter of the owners, Sudha and Pandit Patil. So Prema, let's start with some of the basics. Tell us about the history of Narmada Winery, and when did it start, and whose idea was it?
So the land was bought back in 1999. My parents had a big passion for drinking wine, and they just loved it a lot, and they didn't want to leave Virginia. They loved Virginia a lot, so they started looking for properties where they could possibly build a vineyard. So in 1999, they bought the land out in Amosville, Virginia, and they just let it sit for a while because I was still going through high school and college, and so they were waiting for the right time to plan out what they were going to do with the property and how they were going to build out the vineyard.
I've gone there many times, and I know them very well, and it's a beautiful property. I want all of you to visit. Tell us more about your parents, Pandit and Sudha Patil, and when did they develop interest for wines, and when did they sort of they really got into it? I know I used to see that they always had wines at their home, different kinds of wine, and much more mature wine connoisseurs. And when did they sort of got really into it?
So they were very young when they first came to the United States, and so they both did their education here, and my brother and I were also born here. And just through that, they would have parties at home, and they would love to drink wine. And so, every weekend there would be a bottle of wine out. And so they were exposed very early to it. And so just over time, they decided that this was what they wanted to do when they retired. So like I said, they didn't want to move out to Virginia, so they looked for a property there. And the other idea was, you see the fruits of your labor, and so seeing that, they thought they would be really happy, doing something like this.
Yeah, and I believe I know a little bit about it, that your father was from Jalgaon, and he had some background in farming.
So so both his parents were farmers, and yes, we had a little bit. His background is in mechanical engineering. Mom's background is in chemistry. So she's a dentist by trade, but her background is in chemistry. So, mixing, blending is very easy to her.
Yeah.
She enjoys it a lot.
That's good. And the name Narmada came about from?
So Narmada is actually my dad's mother. So my grandmother on my dad's side. And they named it after her because she actually was the reason my dad was able to come here. She sold some jewelry, and it was just enough that they could pay for a flight ticket for him to come here and get his education.
That's such a nice dedication to her.
Yeah.
So tell us about the winery now. How is it different from others in that area?
So the winery is different because of the setting. It's very open. It's also has a very Indian kind of little vibe when you walk into the tasting room. It's a mix of Western and Indian culture. So you can see that as soon as you walk in. The tasting room it's so different from any other tasting room you walk in. It's very welcoming and homey, and it's a great place for friends to come and gather. So it's just a really nice place to just be. It has the open space outside, so you can wander. You can there's a lake that you can go fishing in, and it's very kid friendly. So you can have a glass of wine, and your kids can be there too, and they can go run around in all 51 acres if they want. And
it is beautiful. I've gone there many times and enjoyed the view from the deck.
Yeah.
And even the cabana and near the lake, and it's really beautiful. I'll encourage all of you to visit, and it's only an hour away from here. What type of wines are offered by Narmada Winery?
So they have a wide range. They have a total of 19 wines, which is pretty impressive. They range from, they have your reds and whites, of course, and they even have a couple of dessert wines, and they even make a port wine. So we have in the reds, we have like Cab Franc, we have a Petit Verdot, we have something that's Reflection, that's like a Bordeaux blend, and then you can go into heaviers like a Tannat. So it's a big range of reds. And then for whites, they have something called a Mom, which is similar to a Riesling. Another wine that they have is it's called Dream, and I'll go into the names a little bit later, but Dream is more like a Gewürztraminer. And they have a Chardonnay, a Viognier, so they basically, they have the wide spectrum of wines.
So good follow-up question will be, and I know a little bit about the names which you came up for the winery. What's the background?
So I can't take all the credit for the names. It's obviously my parents. They both had their input. But so a few that we have here. One is Mom, and that's one of the best sellers at the winery. And the reason it's named Mom, it's dedicated to all moms, because without your mom, you can't really, they do everything for you, right? And, we named the winery after my grandmother, and I mean, she's a testament to why we're all here today, right? So that's a very important wine. And then, like I mentioned, Dream. Dream is named after the whole dream of the winery. This was the dream of my parents to own this someday, and they've accomplished that, and they've done a great job doing that. One of the reds, the Reflection I had mentioned, the name is basically what it means. It's reflecting on our past and how we got to where we are today. There's another red called Yashvir, which is named after, I guess, my nephews, my brother's children, Yash and Veer. So that just has some sentimental value. And then there's a dessert wine called Premita, which my mom named after me.
Yes, so sweet of them.
Yeah.
Mother's Day is coming, and happy Mother's Day, and this will be a good wine to have.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit more from the visitors and from renting perspective about the tasting room and the picnic area and the winemaking center tour.
So, so first when you come into the winery, you'll come to the tasting room, and that's where you can try all the different wines. They have different flights. I believe we have 3 flights, and there are different wines on that. You can either, after you've finished your tasting, you can either sit out on the deck or in the tasting room and enjoy another glass, or if you really liked it, you can enjoy a whole bottle. The tasting room also serves food. They serve small Indian appetizers, which also pairs with a lot of the wines that they serve. They have cheeses and things, so you can just kind of make a day out being out in Amosville, in Shenandoah. So then after that, you can also go outside. They have a beautiful deck with a beautiful view of the vineyard. And also underneath, if you want some shade and get away from the sun, there's under the deck is some seating on the patio. If you would like to wander the property, you can do that. There's a playground, so that's why we say it's kid-friendly. And the kids can play while you sit on the picnic bench and eat lunch. and you can wander around. There's a pavilion where they can also sit out by the lake and just enjoy the view. It's nice and quiet. On a quiet day, it's perfect being out
So
there.
you do rent it for corporate parties and also for
Absolutely,
marriages and all that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
So if you wanted to have a private event, you just call the tasting room, and they'll be more than happy to set up, to go over like how they will set up the event for you. And they do corporate events also. They do weddings at the pavilion, which is beautiful outside. So yeah.
okay. Any interesting fact about the winery which even I did not know? Tell us about the awards.
So Narmada Winery has won over 500 awards combined on all their
Wow.
wines. It's very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
There's so many, I can't list them all for you, but they have even competed against wines out in California and won against them. So if you want to take a look, there's a list of them on the website.
Yes, it's incredible. I mean, in just a short time, what the winery itself started in which year?
So so property was born in 1999. The first set of grapes was planted in 2004. It was like 2 acres of grapes. And then they got their first crop from that in 2006. In 2009 is when the tasting room officially opened.
Wow.
So when they started the vineyard, they didn't know if they were going to do a tasting room or even have a winery. First, it was just to grow the grapes, but over time they realized that this is the next step. And
I know. Within 10 years,
Yeah.
a great achievement. A beautiful winery, so many awards. We should all be proud of it. I would again encourage all of you to visit this winery. It's only an hour away. A good day to spend in spring, fall, or even summer. They have wines for all kind of weather, environment, event. So please go and enjoy.
even if you want to make a day out of it, you can go to the winery and make a basket and go down to Luray Caverns. There are other local wineries out there. The Inn at Little Washington is there. So there's a lot to do out there. Skyline Drive, if you like to bike, so you can come to the winery after you've had a long bike ride and just relax and unwind. So there's a lot to do out there.
Correct.
Yeah.
What do you in particular like unique about Narmada Winery?
So what I like most about it is, one, the atmosphere of the tasting room. It's just amazing. Two is the wonderful staff that we have. Without them, none of this would be possible.
Yeah.
And I think also our customers. You meet some amazing people that come through, and we love seeing them come back and back.
Hear different
and
stories.
tell their stories.
And yes, correct.
I heard one story the other day that the wines were being compared to French wines, and it was a blind taste test, and they actually picked the Narmada wine over the actual French
Wow.
wine.
Congratulations
So
to your parents.
it's pretty
Amazing. And I know your mom puts in her heart into it. Yeah,
Yeah,
congratulations
yep,
to
they
her.
do
And your
too.
dad is a backbone. So,
Yeah.
and hopefully
They're a
you'll
good team.
follow them.
We will see about that.
Yeah. So how about last minute comment to the Washington DC Metro audience? Here is it for you. You want to say something?
Please come to Narmada Winery. We're open every weekend and during the week by appointment. You can go to the website www.narmadawinery.com, and there's a list of all the wines. You can even buy them online, and you can see the different wines that we have, and just come and have a good time.
Yeah, good. So I'll end up with 2 quotes I came across, very good ones, at least I feel like that. One is, either give me more wine or leave me alone. It's Rumi, the poet, very famous poet. And the next one is also very nice. Wine is a constant proof that God loves us and loves to see us happy. Benjamin Franklin. So please enjoy wine, please enjoy the Mother's Day. Wish you all the best. And in the end, like I always say, life is short, have fun, and have no regrets.